Hey guys, what are you up to? My name is LawyerUp and today I'm flying out the Curtiss-Wright XP-55 Ascender, or as some people call it, the Ascender. Unfortunately, some things went wrong with the sound recording of this particular clip, so I'll just be doing a little more talking and you won't hear cool engine sounds or anything. Here I think I am flying against 3 enemies. But you'll see me pay the price for not paying enough attention later. This thing needs to be used in the proper way. If you do not use it in the proper way, you will get clapped. If you take any damage, you are likely to get clapped. So it's not very forgiving, but when you use it right, oh boy does it pay off. Look, and there we see the 109 that surprised me. He was fighting a P-38 right at the beginning of this game. Unfortunately, the P-38 lost, and I did keep track of that. So now I need to take a lot of extra risks, which I can't do because I lock up because I go too fast. And then suddenly I find myself almost in a head-on with that 109. And he nicks me. Now luckily I'm not dead yet. I'm actually surprised how well I keep up with this F4. However, of course, something shows up behind me, and boom. Well, unfortunate. They don't all end well. But hey, good job on the enemy team. This is another game where the sound recording looked a bit better. Trying to keep a good position above both enemies so that I can just hopefully get a couple of good shots in, because this thing loves speed. Nope, don't want the head on. This thing actually doesn't perform that bad in a head-on, it's just that it's very risky because you have control surfaces right in the nose. If they get hit, you just plummet down. And kablooey. Some bits flying off. He's not getting back up. So I try to position myself in such a way that I can attack safely for 1 or 2 passes before I need to get really worried. And here I do something that I didn't do in the first clip. I actually keep track of that one enemy that might not be seen. And there's a low energy Uhu that will take some big holes in his left wing. Look, we see a Stalin bolt, but where is the Focke-Wulf? So I extend for a bit. I like to stay fast, just in case I meet the Focke-Wulf again. Ah, there he is. Oh, and there's another mosquito. Now this is where I made a mistake. I should have actually looked up how many enemies there are still in the air. I'll need a bit of luck later. Potato aim. Focke-Wulf appears again. Now I noticed that the Focke-Wulf is pointing up, and the Focke-Wulf, if it points up and it gets slow, it has a really weird wobble, which I don't have. So I like my chances, and I don't mind going for a stall maneuver. I don't even stall out, but I go really slow. doesn't matter too much. Just some screen cancer and bang. That's what happens when he gets too slow. I'm actually surprised because it looks like he's recovering here, and I want to get slower so I can stay behind him. But apparently it was just a ruse and he is still losing control. So I move away, he won't get up. Now there's 2 below me, which means I have a good energy advantage. All I need to do is stay fast. Except, are there really 2? And then you know why it's so essential to really stay fast. Now let's see who stalls out. Hear that? That's the sound of not having watched behind you too for a bit. And here I use the power of my laminar flow wings that maneuver well at high speeds. And here I do not pitch down because I got shot, and I hope to stall the enemy that shot me out. And it worked. Thank you, teammate. You really saved my ass there. Kind of got forgiven for not paying attention to the Gustav. Fokal's still far away. We can go for a little fight with the G6. I make a wider turn so I can stay behind him and remain fast. If I would have cut into him, I would have been slow at this point, which is not very nice. Hits fly off, I'm happy, and then my teammate comes in for the head-on and fucking dies. That was very necessary. It's just mostly positioning. I see that the Yak 3 above me, which we showed at the beginning, was busy. And then I know that there's another 109 close by, and he's above us. Oh, there he is. That's a risk that you take when you do a blackout maneuver. I should maybe have used neck G to make sure that I could still maneuver, but not gonna deny it, I got a bit lucky here. Really try to keep a good speed, because if we're both fast, then suddenly I turn better, especially at speeds above 450k ph. I will do better. Here he gets distracted, and it's an easy clap. I just look around, to know whether I'm safe. Instead, Yak 3 is still busy. And I decide to do a bit of a cheeky play here. And I decide to fire at the same target as my teammate, which is something I would generally recommend against, but hey, nobody was around, and I really like seeing these 20 mils work. So a bit flies off, and I think, shall I do it, shall I not do it? Well, he still seems fine, so I decide to pump a couple of round extra in there. Boom! That's part of his tail. And I'm completely not blaming the Zero for still going at it, because, you know, he worked just as hard as I did. I just happen to enjoy more of Gaijin's favor. This is a high altitude fight with the Yak. I'm honestly surprised at how well he does, considering that the Yak 3 loses considerable power over 4Ks of altitude. So I know that my engine does better. I produce about 1300 horsepower. I guess a bit less, but plus I have laminar flow wings, so even if he dives to get to an altitude where his engine would perform better, we would be faster, which is where I can outplay him. He manages to throttle drop, which is a really good play by him. If he uses armor target belts, he would definitely wreck my shit, so I do pitch up and try to use the extra speed I have to stay out of his guns. Now we've been doing like a really wide scissor, which is normal at higher altitudes because the air is less dense, so all the movements just become larger. But it doesn't seem to work. Neither of us is really getting an advantage over the other. So I do definitely need to come up with something else. Even though I managed to stay behind him, he doesn't get into gun range for me. Really good job by the Yak. I was surprised. We're fighting at 5.5, 6K, and I still have a hard time. So I decide to go away instead of going towards him. And now he makes a bit of a mistake by pitching up for the friendly. And I do potato aim him, and boom. And that ended the match right there. I think in the end it all boils down to relative advantages and disadvantages that your plane has above another aircraft, which is something that you could show here. My vertical energy retention is better, and my high speed performance is a bit better. So even when he overtakes me, I can come up with a plan that will hopefully neutralize his advantages over me and accentuate my advantages over him more. That's how I cut below him, and when I made a loop and turn, I ended up behind him. And here he makes, I don't know, maybe he makes a mistake. He goes down, making me faster, and me being behind him and having better high-speed performance, I'm simply in a better position than him. So at first he had a really good position, but now he has a really shitty position, and I crit him. He leaks all sorts of fuels, of liquids, which is never a good thing, unless you're a fire extinguishing plane, but that BF-109 definitely isn't. I don't really know why I do this. Perhaps I thought that maybe he could still pitch up. Turns out he couldn't. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment telling me what you liked and did not like, so I can improve the gameplay and improve the videos. Keep it civil, guys. See you soon.